In 2009, I was going to play the biggest match of my life in Indian Wells. I went through qualifying, beat a guy about 80 in the world. Won my first round match, beat another guy about 80 in the world. And then I played the number 2 ranked Spaniard on tour, David Ferrer. So you and I are thinking of the game plans or watching YouTube videos. I've seen the guy play countless times on TV, right? So tell us what the game plan is, and then I may add to that as well.
Well, you know, when I saw a video of Roger Federer playing David Ferrer, I realized that Roger Federer was using his slice backhand short to David's backhand, and that made David very uncomfortable. And basically what Roger was doing is getting him out of his comfort zone, not making him, you know, hit a good ball at the waist level, which is the shot that he liked, and just totally, you know, rattled him with that play. And so I said, you know what, Todd, I think we're going to go with that play because I think it's going to work. Yeah. And we implemented that, and it did.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought it was an unbelievable strategy. My whole...
All right, we're gonna talk about the 64 points rule. This rule, I mean, is nothing else than a great way, in my opinion, to explain the player. A very easy way. What are the patterns that they should look, and what are the things that they should improve to get set up the patterns and the things that they need to win a match. To win a match 6-4, 6-4, we need to win around 64 points. We can do 70, 72. But in general, I'm gonna say, and it's easier to explain with 64, I call the 64 points rule, right? So to win a match 6-4, 6-4, we need that.
It has to be almost a winner to go cross court. You have to have the momentum of your opponent pulled so far out of the alley that you can cover this side. So when you come in on the cross court approach, it's not really a good idea because how are you going to cover the line? Everybody that's 12 years old that plays tennis can hit a short cross court angle with their forehand. So remember those things. Try to take this ball and come in more down the line. Wait till you've got your opponent well off the center of the court when you go down that line, where you have your balance and it's in your strike zone. You're going to be a lot more successful. You'll win a lot more points by remembering those things.
When it comes to strategy, I always approached every match as a different match, which you obviously have to. It all depends on who you're playing, what their strengths are, what they can do, and that's where you need to study your player or remember from your previous experiences playing that particular player. What can they do? Where are they comfortable on court? Are they a counterpuncher? Are they a moonballer? Are they an offensive player? So normally with a moonballer or a defensive player, they want to stand behind the baseline. They're not going to take many risks. So you as a player, in my opinion, you have to get them in a position where they are forced to take a risk. You can bring them in, use your slice, play short, but you have to really test yourself also. If you've lost to a player already and you lose to that player again and you're still playing the same way, then that's on you. Like, you have to figure out to change something.
We're playing a little bit more of a conservative serve because we're playing with a kick serve. Nothing wrong with it because I want to make sure that we're playing to that opponent's weakness. And I'm going to go there, I'd say about 80 or 90% of the time, the way that you trained me, as well as so many others, because we want to break down that player. And until that player can prove that they can step up and really, hurt me probably maybe 2 or 3 times in a row, I'm going to go with the highest percentage serve to the backhand, which is a kick serve. And I'm going to do it probably about 80 to 90% of the time so that my opponent, who has a really big forehand, doesn't get looks at their forehand and at second serves. I want to make sure that they're very uncomfortable using their weaker shot, which in this case is the high backhand. And then once I got that person with my heavy kick serve high on their backhand, I can then implement that strategy in the point.
So you've got to look at your players, understand what their strengths are, what they do well, and what their personality is. Some of the things about percentage for players that around about 13, 14, 15, 16 are not percentage for those players. It comes down to what do I do well? What can I consistently keep doing over and over again? And someone like Ivan Lendl, one of the great players of all time, great men, he had a basic philosophy. If you could hit the ball into a spot 80% of the time, it didn't matter what it looked like. If you could do it under pressure 80% of the time, there's nothing wrong with the shot. Today, it's a little bit different with the pace of the ball. Your technique has to be very good.